Hello everyone. How we doing? Gonna give everybody a few minutes to get on. I'll add you in just a second, Jessica. Okay, let me get comfortable. How's everybody? Happy Sunday. Hello, Mackenzie. Thank you so much. This is actually purple, so I don't know if you can kind of tell. It's one of my favorite sweaters. It's perfect for, Sunday afternoon after church. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us. This is episode number 5, a part of our candidate series. Today we're going to meet Jessica Thon, Miss Dixie Stock Show. And I'm going to say a few things about her and then I'll add her onto the live so we can get to know her. So Jessica is from Slidell, Louisiana, and she is a graduate from Southeastern Louisiana University. And I think this is how you do it, line up. I'm not really sure. And she is currently pursuing a master's degree in health administration at Louisiana State University at Shreveport. So she has aspirations in becoming a hospital administrator and a CEO of a behavioral health facility. So that's amazing. We will talk more about that. And her social impact initiative is Why Add the Pain? Sexual assault, rape awareness, and mental health awareness. I'm sure we will talk a lot more about that. I know she's very passionate about it, and I can't wait to hear more about that from her. So she will be actually performing a guitar and vocal original song on the Miss Louisiana stage next summer, and I'm so excited to hear it. I actually competed with Jessica at Miss Louisiana's Outstanding Teen when we were in high school, so I got to meet her, I don't know, maybe when we were like 16. So I'm so excited that she has decided to compete in Miss Louisiana, and I'm just so excited for her to have that opportunity to compete at Miss Louisiana 2021. So without further ado, add her. Fingers crossed. Yay! Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. I mean, as good as it can go with everything going
Yeah,
on.
you
Can
look
you hear me
beautiful.
fine? Thank you. You look beautiful. I thought it matched pretty well. It's kind
Oh
of like
yes,
sweet
I
purple.
love it. I love it. um, so how has your Sunday been going? Have you had like a pretty restful Sunday? Sorry, I'm trying to get situated.
No, it's not been restful. Woke up this morning. We got ready for church. Today's my only rest day away from working out. So that was the only relaxing piece. But we actually started adding gutters to the house, and I've been doing chores, washing clothes, cooking food, and
Oh my
cleaning
gosh.
the house.
Yes, I feel like I have so many things that I want to talk to you about that I'm just now remembering. I mean, you do CrossFit
Mhm.
and you just got a ring on your finger. Oh my goodness.
Which is an interesting topic in and of itself because, you know, with the title and with this title, not many
Yeah.
people know if that's like allowed. So that's an
Yeah.
interesting topic.
Well, yeah, we can talk more about that. But first, we can talk about some Miss Louisiana stuff, and then we'll get into that if that's okay with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed this series because, I
Mhm.
mean, for some of the girls, like I feel like I've known you since I was in high school.
Wow.
But for some others, this is like really the first time I'm meeting some of y'all, so it's been really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's been this long. I'm 24 now. So
Oh
it's
my
been
gosh. I
years,
love
I would say, since I was 16.
Yeah, 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 we've definitely grown into ourselves.
Yeah.
Also, quick note, my eyes are like bloodshot because of my contacts. So if
Your
anybody's
dogs in the
wondering,
background.
do I?
You have bloodshot eyes, and I may hear dogs in the background. So,
Yeah, so we're
okay.
rolling with it. It's all good. So, I really want to talk first about your talent because I think you're probably the only person like bringing an original song to the Miss Louisiana stage. And I know that you actually did this in Outstanding Teen.
Yeah.
You brought a song that you wrote. So if you want to talk and take it away and talk more
Yeah.
about that, I'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. It honestly, if we're being straight honest here, it's actually one of the pieces that makes me a little nervous because in teen, I was always told to not do the talent that I love to do because it's multiple talents in one, and judges don't know which one to judge, and you're more likely to mess up on stage if you're doing multiple talents at once. And I have messed up quite a few times at state just because of the nerves. I could
Mhm.
practice 1,000 times, and I don't seem to always do my best during state. So I was nervous to go back to what I've always done, but
Mhm.
I always felt like there was a piece missing whenever I competed and I didn't have my guitar and I didn't sing something of my own.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, if I'm about to age out and I'm going to go to Miss Louisiana, I want to do it like just completely and fully me. I just want to be vulnerable
Mhm.
and be true to myself. And so one day I just sat down and I tried. Sometimes it's really hard to just sit down and tell yourself to write something,
Mhm.
but it just came to me. It came really easily. I wrote the song within like 10 minutes. It's called Wounds. And the song that I sang at my local to get my title Miss Dixie Stock Show is actually different from this one for state. And I felt like the song that I did at my local was a little bit too dark, and I wanted this moment to feel not so gut wrenching, but definitely emotional. So I tried to write another piece that made you feel a part of my story and something that coincided with my social impact initiative, but not something so emotional where you're leaving the talent feeling a little small.
Mhm.
I wanted people to feel uplifted. So I think
Yeah.
this would be a good one. I'm gonna wait till I'm on stage to sing it for the first time for anyone, including my new fiance, my mom. Like no one's gonna hear it until then, and that's how I typically do it. But
Right.
I'm
That's
excited.
so special. And I love that you're using the platform of competing at Miss Louisiana to showcase this talent that is really just so close to you, and like showing your heart on stage and being so vulnerable. That takes so much courage, not only to just stand up there with multiple things. You've got your guitar and you've got your beautiful voice, but I mean, that's already so vulnerable just performing a song made by someone else, but you're literally singing your heart out. So I'm so excited.
I'm excited. Yeah, I always say I want to take every opportunity to give the judges and the audience a little piece of myself when I'm on stage because you only get so much time.
Hmm.
So if I have another opportunity to promote my social impact initiative, why not?
Yeah,
You know.
that's
But I
awesome.
always loved your talent. Your talent has always got me excited.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I
You're
actually had a
welcome.
different song I was going to play this year, but I mean, COVID. So
Yeah,
hopefully I'll be able to play my original piece. Not originally, like I didn't
yeah,
compose it, but
like the first one. Yeah,
yes, and I'll be able to play it for the first time as Miss Louisiana. So it's just nuts, just like what is going on?
I love piano. I actually used to play piano up until Hurricane Katrina, and
Oh my
after that, my
goodness.
lesson stopped. But I wish every time I listen to your talent, I'm like, I
Oh,
wish
you're so
it never
sweet.
stopped. It's so beautiful.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yes, and so for those joining us right now, we've got Jessica Thon, Miss Dixie's Shock Show. And if you want to leave Jessica a question, please feel free to leave it in the comment box below, and we'll get to them as we can. So if you want to ask her something about Miss Louisiana or just about her personally, Miss Leslie Brent just said, Jessica, you look beautiful.
Aw, thank you.
Sweet.
You
So
know,
Miss Leslie Brent is actually Charity Brent's mom and JC Brent's mom. I interviewed Charity Friday. Yeah. Saturday? I can't remember. It was Friday, yeah. And so she supported the series, and I love seeing everybody tuning in. Thanks for being here.
Leslie's always
So
the best cheerleader. She got everybody's crowning moments and
I
everything.
know, I know. She's the ultimate hype woman.
I love it.
I love it. Yes. So when did you start singing and playing the guitar?
So, of course, I've always sang in the shower. That's the best place
Right.
to perform. But I was always really nervous about singing in front of people, and for the longest time, anytime someone was home, I would just pipe down. But since I
Mm-hmm.
was younger, I always wrote. So I always wrote poems. I like to write short stories. And my dad, actually, growing up, he was in a band and he played guitar. And so I thought, why not try to make these poems into music? Because I just love music and I like to express myself. It's always been the one thing that I feel like at peace doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up the guitar and I actually self-taught through like YouTube.
Yeah.
And I learned a few just main beginner's chords. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, that's what many songs are written using, are pretty simple like chords, maybe out of 7 of them, just a different variation of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just turn my poems into lyrics. And
Yeah.
that was just always a way for me to express myself and to vent, because I wasn't really good at talking about
Mm-hmm.
anything when I was younger.
Right.
And that's what this organization has changed for me. But yeah, it started as early as junior high school, but I started writing since I was in my late years of elementary.
Yeah, that's so
I still
cool.
have notebooks from way back when.
Yeah, I was about to ask, do you still
Uh,
have what you
yeah,
wrote then? That's so special.
some of them are kind of cringy to read back on, because the things that I was like harping on as like a middle schooler,
Right.
and if
Yeah.
only I knew.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's so funny. So what would you, this is still pertaining to your talent, but also like, what kind of advice would you give to maybe your younger self or someone who wants to pursue music and wants to maybe learn the guitar? Like, what would you want to tell your former self or tell a younger girl or young man that wants to get into music?
Well, I think the one thing that we all face when we're starting something new is the fear of rejection, the fear of failure. But the one thing I'll tell someone that's trying to do anything in the arts is that everything about your art is it's about someone's perception. So even if one person doesn't like it, that doesn't mean it's not going to be the thing that's going to save someone's life. It could be the
Right.
and everybody's going to like different things. You don't have to make your music or your art or your poetry or your painting, whatever your art is, it's not for anyone else. It's for you. And if it does something good in your heart, and if it makes you feel good, or if it makes just a few people feel good, you're putting good out into the world. So
Yeah.
I would much rather someone focus their energy on something that makes themselves feel good than to do something just because they know other people are going to like. Art isn't just about the other people. It's about doing good for
Wow.
them. Yeah.
That's
So,
so good. I'm like so encouraged by that. I
yeah.
really am. I love that.
Well, I mean, everybody's like, well, I'm not going to do this because I'm not going to be good at it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who's to say it's good and who's to say it's bad? Who
Mm-hmm.
judges that? Art is art.
So true. I love that. Well, hopefully someone is listening and got something out of that. For
Yeah.
sure. That was good. Okay. So now we can transition into I want to talk about your social impact initiative. I know that you've done a lot of things promoting let me read it again. Why Hide the Pain?
Mm-hmm.
Sexual assault, rape awareness, and mental health awareness. And right now you've partnered up with several other young women in the Miss America organization. And I just want you to literally take this conversation wherever you want to, because I know that you have a lot to say about
Yeah,
your
well,
program.
I've had this platform. It was originally called a platform before we
Right.
started
Yeah.
calling it Social Impact Initiative. I've had it for over 10 years. It started, I think it was my second year of teen. I named it Why the Pain, essentially begging the question, why the physical pain when the emotional pain is overpowering you? It initially began as a way for me to raise awareness and provide support to those who suffer through mental illnesses, but specifically with self-harm. And as I've grown and unfortunately been through some experiences with sexual assault and rape, I've started to expand the initiative to include those who have also suffered through those experiences. And I just started talking about those new topics just as early as last December, is when I finally went on stage and talked about it. And actually, I had some friends and family in the audience that had never knew those things about me. And that was
Wow.
their first time hearing about those things. But so that was actually a really groundbreaking local competition for me, because I was it was at the peak of my vulnerability. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it was really special to me. But since earlier in the years of competition, I started a website where anyone can go and tell their story, anonymous or not. And I've had many people come to me and say
That's
that these
awesome.
stories inspired the help that they needed and showed them that they're not alone. And I've been doing community service work in and out for the past 10 years with this platform. But yeah, we've actually started groups nationally with a bunch of local title holders that have similar social impact initiatives. And we've been working on projects for the past 6-ish months over COVID because everything had to be digital and online. So if anyone was interested in checking all that out, it's on my Instagram and on my YouTube channel, which is Dixie's Digest. Yeah.
So it's at, can you remind me, at MISS Dixie Stock Show
_MAO. That's the Instagram.
Okay.
And then YouTube is Dixie's Digest, all one word with apostrophe S for Dixie.
Okay. YouTube. I'm going to put it in the comments so people can follow you.
Oh, awesome.
Dixie Digest.
And then the website is whyaddthepain.com. Super easy.
Okay. whyaddthepain.com. Well, I'm like such a slow texter. I'm like, how old am I?
It's okay. It's because we're multitasking.
Yeah, true. Okay. Perfect. Okay, got it. Yay. So everybody tuning in, if you want to follow Jessica either on social media or find her on YouTube, I think that you put it together a video of all the candidates in Miss Louisiana.
Yeah, if anyone's interested. I know we're probably going to have some new contestants by the time Miss Louisiana rolls around.
Right.
But as of right now, the current contestants, I have a video that shows everybody's little introduction, their name, their title, their talent, and their social impact initiative. So if anybody wanted to go to one and see everybody, it's there.
Yay! It's under
It's a video on my channel, so it's got a lot of support. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's always really cool to, you've collaborated with other national or local title holders. So at the national level, you've collaborated with people and partnered with people. And it's just cool to see, how your reach can just reach further and have, like your hand in so many different states now with just collaborating. And so we're, far better together. And we have such a better and bigger impact when we are together, greater than we would be if we stood alone. So that's what I love. That, if you could bring out any positive of COVID, I think that in the Miss America system, I think that would be a huge positive that I've seen.
Yeah, I can't even imagine when we first had that, it was like a video conference of us all in one place, and we decided to just make a group chat and us all follow each other. There was an immense following, such a huge growth in all of my channels and accounts. It's great how much support we're giving one another, because the more that we lift each other's platforms, the more that we will, get out there and reach more people and see more growth.
Yeah, and I feel like the narrative almost changed with Miss America as well. Like, instead of competing against, one another, because it is a competition, but it's also like we're using this platform to encourage and uplift and bring about growth and vulnerability. Yeah. So it's been cool to be a part of.
I'm all for the crown getting another point and it being sisterhood. Like, I think that'd be a perfect S to add to the mix.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what is your favorite S?
I was going to say if we could create one, it'd be sisterhood. But I think it would be service, only because I think that at the end of the day, that's the whole point of having a title, to do something with it, because it's not just about wearing a crown or sash, it's about giving back to your community, and it's not about winning at the end of the day. I don't compete in the system to get a title. I compete to not only better myself and grow as a woman, but to also give back to the place that has given so much to me. And I just think that if someone comes in with the intention of only winning, you're missing the bigger picture out of this organization.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I always like to think that, for example, so when you're driving to go to vacation, I'm making a parallel here. So you're driving to go to vacation, and you're like, the ambition of going to vacation, and like the expectation once you get there, oh my gosh, we're going to the beach, it's going to be amazing. And then you have this long journey of driving there. And sometimes, the ambition is greater than your actual fruition of getting your whatever you have accomplished, And so, like, I really had to think about that when I was competing for Miss Louisiana, because it was like, okay, when I wake up one day, Lord willing, I win Miss Louisiana, which I never expected that I would be Miss Louisiana in these situations.
I saw that.
I mean, like, oh my gosh, what is going on? But am I gonna wake up one morning and just be like a different person? No, like, I'm gonna be the same person that I was, when I was competing.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important to remember that, like, it's in the journey. The journey is what brings about the growth. It's not in that moment when your crowning moment or whatever. It's the journey that got you there.
Yeah, it's not the destination. Yeah, I mean, when I just got a job after being laid off because of COVID, and I now work with Oshner, and they actually told me that, like, once I had my interview, that was it for it. And as soon as they told me that, I owed all of that to this organization, because I don't think I would be the same person in front of a panel of judges. Essentially, this was not judges; these were my employers, but um, it definitely prepared me. I don't go into an interview nearly as nervous or anxious. I'm ready to go in and I'm prepared. And I just feel like it's much easier to talk in front of people. So this organization does more for someone than most would realize. And that's why I like that we're breaking that barrier and that stereotype that pageants have always had.
Absolutely. Retweet. So I have a question from Mackenzie Conley.
Okay.
Our fellow sisters.
Okay, sister.
Yes, she says, I hope she's still on. She says, what has been your favorite memory or event as Miss Dixie's stock show? I don't remember when you were crowned, but I didn't even know if you had, much opportunity to do anything.
Yeah, it was like within a month or two, everything shut. But I did, right before COVID happened, I slipped in some Mardi Gras parades, and so far it's been my absolute favorite. I did it with fellow sister queens down in Slidell, and we all rode in a couple parades, and that was just so much fun. I just love the vibe and the environment of Mardi Gras, but just to finally to have done something with my title for the first time, because I worked for years to finally get a Miss Local title. So to finally have gotten it and to just be like, finally, I have a title. I'm going to Louisiana. It just felt so good. And I saw so many people I grew up with down here during the parade route. So it was just a really nice, good, fun experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it just, you had that moment of like, you can just rest and enjoy
just live it and just like celebrate. That's really what it was. It was a celebration.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Lexi Horton said, shout out to Slidell.
Yes. The Dirty Dell, a lot of people like to call us. And by your line up was perfect earlier.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was going to ask you. I was like, did I do that right?
Yeah, line up.
That's so funny. Yeah, so I really want to, I know that there's like several of South Louisiana girls that are competing, or women that are competing in Miss Louisiana, and I really want to just come down there and hang out with y'all, because I feel like I never see y'all except for during the competition or during the state meeting. So I've been trying, I really have been trying, but it's like, it's always like quick trips. I know, or the hurricane this last week, it was like, I need to go ahead and get back up to North Louisiana because I didn't know where it was going.
It's like every other week we get a hurricane coming towards New Orleans, and we just pray that it just goes a different way.
Right.
Like,
oh my gosh.
After,
yes, you
lived. Katrina, we don't deserve anything more.
I know, I was about to say, yeah. So did you evacuate up north, or did you stay during Katrina?
During Katrina, actually, just because we always get hurricanes, a lot of us don't evacuate, so we didn't get out of here until last minute, which was crazy to get through. But yeah, we lost a lot. We got flooded 6.5 feet, and then the rest of my family who lived in Chalmette, the water was above their roof. So, but I mean, I truly think that everything happened for a reason. I think that Katrina taught a lot of us to really cherish the things that we have and to live in the now and to
Yeah.
live like we don't have a tomorrow, because that's honestly the truth. Everything can be taken away from you in the blink of an eye, So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that we're better off because of it, but I do think that it served as an amazing learning lesson for many of us.
Right. Yeah. So the adversity brings about tenacity and brings about the just the growth that you've experienced because of the trials,
Yeah.
and
It
learning
brought
how
our family together too, because
mm,
we all kind of lived far apart. We didn't get to see each other much. And
mm-hmm.
having to stay close and to travel the way that we did, we have a big Italian family too. So there are cousins of mine that I'm very close to today because of what we went through during Katrina.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet, like, I mean, even now, like, with going through all 2020, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that has brought, I feel like I'm like closer to some people because of it, especially like living at home and working from home with my
Because
parents.
we're all suffering through the same stuff,
Oh,
We
yeah.
can
Yeah.
all bond through
Uh-huh.
adversity. So it's
Exactly.
especially
Oh,
with the world kind of dividing like it is right now.
right. Hmm.
Mhm.
So Lexi said, Jessica, you just gave me full body chills. I remember Slidell being so bare after Katrina. You were such a light. That's so sweet.
Yeah,
Also, Lexi is the ultimate hype woman.
yes, she is absolutely. No, yeah, I remember that too. It was insane, like going through your hometown and not recognizing it. And
Hmm.
then I also remember, and this is crazy because it was all like I was 8 or 9 years old, so I remember it like it was yesterday. We actually saw people's like boats in the middle of streets because they
Yeah.
floated moved elsewhere. But it was crazy. I remember the exact moment that we opened the door to my house and saw the inside, and I'll never
Oh
forget.
gosh.
Like I said, as much bad, that Katrina was and how much it affected our city, it really did do something to the community to bring us all really close. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of good that came out of such a bad situation.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Um, so now kind of switching gears. So you are working with Oshner, correct?
Yes.
So you just got this job
Hmm.
just a few weeks ago,
Hmm.
and it was funny because we had our time worked out for the interview, and then you were like, I have this
I
job, and I'm like, oh well,
was like, I don't know
let's
what to
work
do.
around it. Like, of
Yeah.
course, like I will definitely work around your schedule
Yeah.
because I mean, hello, big girl job, that's amazing. Snaps for Jessica. Um, so do you want to talk about that and how I know that you have aspirations of beginning a career in health administration and being a CEO of a behavioral health unit one day?
That's a very
So
long-term goal.
yeah, so is this like a
Yeah.
stepping stone into that direction or?
Well, yeah. So, what my journey so far is during my undergraduate program, I started an internship at Baton Rouge Behavioral Hospital, and I worked very closely with the CEO. A CEO and a hospital administrator is the same thing. It's just people know the term CEO more
Mhm.
regularly, so I just use that if people don't know what a hospital administrator is. But I really saw the change he implemented in that behavioral health facility, and with how little attention that behavioral health facilities get, especially in Louisiana, I really want to change that. I want to make an
Mhm.
impact for those that are dealing with mental illness because I don't think that they're getting the attention that they deserve and that they truly need. And so I saw the impact I could truly make, and I wanted to go down that avenue. So I started my graduate program a couple weeks before I graduated with my undergraduate degree. And I actually graduated with my master's in March. So I completely finished, and luckily I was able to get a job before I finished in January at SCP
Oh,
Health.
okay.
But unfortunately, COVID led to many layoffs, and I actually had to experience what it was like since April to be jobless. And that's not a
Mhm.
fun position to be in. It's a little scary. But
Yeah.
I did that time to do a lot with my platform, with my social impact initiative. And I was blessed with a new position with Oshner Health, which is an amazing company to be a part of. And I just started in late September. And it's been great thus far. They're still training me because it's going to take a lot of time through, because I'm working from home. It's
Mhm.
tough to teach someone over a computer screen how to do such a detailed oriented job. But I like a fast-paced environment. I like talking to people and I like communicating. So it's something that's definitely fit for me. And I'm just excited to finally get my foot in the door and start my journey to become a hospital administrator. But that will take many years, many decades of becoming a leader, a manager, supervisor, all types of experiences to eventually do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so
So
great. I'm so proud of you.
it's gotta take one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You're you're marching up that career ladder too. What are your plans once you're done with Miss Louisiana?
Oh my gosh, I really don't have anything like set in stone. It's honestly, I'm just so thankful for this year because I didn't even know what I was gonna do a few months ago before, especially when everything was postponed. So Miss Louisiana was postponed, Miss America was postponed for those that are tuning in. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's next, So I think I'm just still kind of like trying to figure it out. I'm really trying to just live in the moment of this year too, and really enjoy everything as it comes, and um, invest fully with the people that I do get to interact with, whether that's Zoom meetings or when I do get the opportunity to meet with people. But I'm currently studying for my board exam to become a registered dietitian. So I'm also
By your posts.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I'm also in graduate school. So with the extra time that we have right now with not competing in Miss America, I'm able to pursue my master's degree. So it's just kind of juggling all of that and
Yeah.
getting back into school because we're on the quarter system. So I always forget how fast it goes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's kicking my butt.
Well, I can't even
But
imagine that because I know that you're the exception in the situation. I know most of the time Miss Louisiana has to take a break because
uh-huh.
the job is full time, because it's so, demanding. But the fact that you're able to handle that and being Miss Louisiana is just all props to you. That's why when you say, I'm trying to make time to come down there, I'm like, girl, I completely understand because I can't imagine how you feel and how you're
Oh
making
no.
it work so well. But
Well,
all
thank you.
props to you. I know that's not easy.
Well, thank you. I definitely still try to prioritize sleep. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely
Yeah.
when I hit a certain time at night, I'm like, okay, it's still going to be there tomorrow, and we'll reassess in the morning.
Sleep is
Yes,
so
definitely trying not to overextend myself for
I've been
sure.
getting up at 4 a.m., so I've been trying to get myself to bed at a decent hour.
Yeah, because you work out.
Yeah, I do CrossFit
It's so
before school.
early.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know why I do it, but I just love it so much. It's
Hmm.
competitive and it's fun, and I'm doing something good for my body. So,
Yeah, I used to do CrossFit
oh, I didn't
a
know.
few years ago. Yeah, I stopped. Because I went to a gym in Ruston, North Louisiana. I don't currently live there anymore, so I just it was hard to go to the classes and be consistent when I'm not living there, and then
Yeah,
finding a new gym. So, and then Miss Louisiana actually sponsors a gym, so it's like
no,
I can just do a
nice.
lot on my own.
Listen to
But
me.
yeah, I definitely think that there is like something when you start CrossFit, it's like you get the bug and you
Yeah,
can't stop it.
fun.
It's
Burn
so
my
addicting.
carbs, girl. I do.
Yes.
I get my carbs in.
Yeah, and definitely just the camaraderie that
Yeah.
it's like you're suffering together,
Yes.
and you're
There's
like,
so
I
little
feel like I'm gonna throw
separation
up.
that window. Yeah, I mean, I used
Yeah.
to watch grown men get sick in the middle of their workout and just keep going. Oh my
It's
gosh, I got so intimidated during the first few times that I tried it, but it's really fun.
yes.
If anyone's interested, you should try it. They always give you a day for free. So
Yeah, yeah.
be prepared to be supported.
One thing I've always said um is like I felt like right before I started was, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get injured, But I never did get injured. I mean, I always like knew my limits. There was a
Yeah,
sign at the gym that I went to, and it said, "Leave your ego outside," or something like that.
yeah,
And definitely don't like overextend yourself if you don't think that, you're gonna be able. to lift that heavy or do that movement. Like, it's okay to scale, you know, so.
And they do that. They do that as long as you have a good coach that makes sure that they know, you know, what's safe and what's not, and you're using proper lifting mechanics, and you're not pushing yourself past the point that you can't go. They're really good about pushing you to the point that they know you can get to, but they won't push you too hard to the point that you can't come back, you know?
Right.
So, but I work out with people that have been doing this for decades, and
Yeah.
they've had multiple children, and they're decades older than I am, and they look way better than I do. So I'm like, obviously you're doing something right. Like, they're in better shape than me. So I'm like, I'm aspiring to look like you, but.
Oh, thanks. Or yes. So I've got a comment from, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right, but it says Zene. So she is asking, what advice would you give to her to ignore, like, she's struggling with racism, and I know this is like a heavy topic, but what advice, and we can just kind of open this, I guess, for like a discussion. And what advice would you give to, I guess, ignore, I don't know if you're receiving comments or, but just kind of how to deal with that. And I can obviously chime in as well.
Yeah, well, I can't speak for, you know, as a Caucasian female, I can't speak for someone who is Black or Indian or Asian, whatever it is that you are. I've never experienced that type of racism, but I have experienced hate, and I've experienced judgment and just ugliness from people before. And I think it all comes from a place of hurt from that person's end at the end of the day. And I try to tell myself that obviously if they're trying to tear me down, they're trying to do everything that they absolutely can to build themselves up, even if it's not the best way to do it. They must be going through something that they're trying to put on to others. And at the end of the day, you have to be confident in yourself and that you are a good person, a beautiful person, a worthy person, and you can't let people that are willing to stoop down that low to make you feel like those things are true, because they're just not. You should care more about the opinions of people who are respectful and kind and considerate. And I mean, when it comes to everything that's happening right now with this racial injustice and this hate towards one another, at the end of the day, I see a light at the end of all this. I see more and more people trying to understand, and even if they don't get it right now, they're becoming more open-minded, and they're becoming more considerate of people's feelings over time. And I think we just have to continue to educate people. I think this all comes from a place of ignorance at the end of the day, and I think that's where hate comes from. It's just ignorance. If we continue to take that step up and refuse to stoop down to their level and to teach them why they're wrong and why they're hurting people and why it's not okay to act that way, the more people that do that, the more I think people will start to get it and realize that what they're saying and what they're doing is not okay. So just keep being great. That's what I tell people. You know, when people, like Miss Obama said herself, she said, when they go low, you go high. You just continuously prove them wrong and make whatever stereotype they're holding against you so far from who you are.
Absolutely. Totally. And I would also add that just like exactly what you were saying, keep people around you that are going to lift you up and affirm you. And that's one thing, like, and I totally am with you. I mean, I'm a Caucasian female, and I personally cannot speak to that, to what you're going through, Jay. But I know that I've also experienced a lot of judgment, especially even this year. I mean, like, I feel like I live in a fishbowl because of, you know, just the more people that know my name and more people that see my pictures on the internet, because social media can just be a very dangerous place. And one thing I've really tried to do is just reach out to the people that I know, like my family, who affirm me and who lift me up and know how to speak truth in my life. Jada, I'm sorry. And so that's one thing I've really just tried to do is like put little notes of affirmation even around my mirror in the morning, because even living by myself has been really hard, because I'm naturally just an extrovert. I love to be around people, and when I'm by myself, I tend to think negatively, and I tend to
Yeah.
remember the comments I've had on social
Start to
media.
spiral.
And I remember I remember like certain things that people have said to me in my past, and I'm like, that's not who I am, and like you have to remember and constantly affirm yourself and hide those words in your heart and just say like, this is who I am. I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and
Right.
the end of story.
Yeah,
Period.
and to bounce off of that, though, I think we forget how we should speak to ourselves. I think we should talk to ourselves as if we're talking to our best friend. You'd never
Yes.
tell your best friend that they're fat or they're a failure, or that whatever you tend to, go hard on yourself on. You'd never say that to the next person. So why are we saying that to ourselves? But
Right.
also, I did want to make sure that if you do get to the point that you start feeling like, maybe I need to talk to someone because my thoughts are getting a little too dark, or I'm starting to feel a little, I'm getting a little overwhelmed with things
Right.
that are hitting me right now, not even just from yourself, but maybe from others that you're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
I highly, highly encourage seeking help, whether it's from a friend
Yeah.
that's been through it or from a professional, because, there should be no shame in going and getting medical
Mm-hmm.
help. I get medicated and I talk to a doctor with my anxiety, and it has changed my world immensely.
Mm-hmm.
I can live a more normal life and feel, a little bit normalcy instead of being overly anxious with everything that I do and choose. And trust me,
Right.
anxiety's still there because it's
Oh
within
yeah.
who I am. But at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with seeking help and being medicated if it helps
Mm-hmm.
you live a more comfortable life.
Right. And exactly like what you practice daily. I have hair flying around.
Me
What you
too.
practice daily with writing things down, writing your poems and writing your lyrics. I think that one thing, like I'm an external processor, but sometimes I have to write it down
Yeah.
because, or like say it out loud, because sometimes when you say it, it makes it like it's out in the air now, and it's not like in
I
your head.
love you. Yeah.
Yes.
I always tell people, find the most healthy way for you to vent
Yeah.
emotion, whether that's dancing or singing or working
Mm-hmm.
out or writing. Just do something that's enjoyable for you to not only keep you from overthinking, because when you have nothing to do and you're sitting around, it's really easy to start doing that, but to also make you tired by the end of the day, so that when you're in
Right.
bed about to go to bed, those thoughts aren't spiraling, you're just going to bed. So
Yeah.
that's why I like being active in some way every single day, because it helps me
Mm-hmm.
with my anxiety. I'm tired. I don't have the energy to overthink.
Yeah.
So all of
Right.
those things and more. And if you want, feel free to message me too, Jada, after this if you ever need someone to talk to. I'm always here.
Yeah. Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so transitioning, because we only have an hour on
Okay.
on Instagram.
Yeah, we could talk forever.
I know. I'm like, whoa, the time. Oh my gosh. We should just call each other afterward. Okay, so a few other things I wanted to know. How did you get involved in competing in Miss Louisiana? And you started in the Outstanding Teen program, but who was a former Miss Louisiana that maybe you looked up to, or who in your life really encouraged you to compete? I want to know it all.
So right around the corner lives Miss Missy Segretti. She was putting on one of her, I think it was the first, I could be wrong, but I think it was the first Miss St. Tammany Heritage, and she was doing Miss North Shore's Outstanding Teen too, because that was my first title, was Miss North Shore's Outstanding Teen. And she needed more contestants so that she can give away more titles. And my mom encouraged me because I started a National American Miss. And I took a long break because I was just not what people thought a pageant girl was. I just really enjoyed going and riding on a four-wheeler or playing some sports and getting dirty. You know, I didn't have that much fun getting all dolled up and walking around on
Mhm.
stage until I did her pageant, and I immediately got into it because I met a bunch of friends, and that was really nice. All the contestants at her pageant, just we're still friends to this day. And I got to experience state for the first time, and then I'm even more friends. And I do have a competitive drive in me. I do like to compete, and I do like to perform. I've always been a dancer. I danced since I was 2. So to be on stage and to be able to sing and play the guitar and challenge myself to do things that are scary for me, it felt really good. I could tell that I was becoming a better speaker just within the first year. And I was doing a lot of community service, which just made me feel good. I liked giving back. And so I kept wanting to do it. And I met people like you. I met people um, like Megan. Like we've been friends since we were teenagers, and
Right.
we're looking at each other and seeing where we're going to this day. It was just an awesome experience. So
Right.
I kept wanting to do it from there on, and
Mhm.
I did teen up until I aged out. And I told myself, I'm never gonna do Miss. Like those girls are just so beautiful and talented, smart. I just could never do that. And then I got to Miss Years. It took about a year off, and I was like, you know what? I had like that itch that I wanted to scratch. I just wanted to
Right.
keep going back because it's so much fun and it's such a good
Mhm.
organization to be a part of. And it doesn't hurt that you're getting help paying for your education. It's just a great number of factors that make you want to be involved. And so
Yes.
it took me a long time to get my first Miss local title. And I think it was because I was dealing with a lot of those mental health issues that had to deal with my experiences. Finally, when
Mhm.
I was able to and willing to tell my story, was I finally able to get my first title. And I don't think that's just out of random. I think that happened for a very specific purpose. I think that shedding the truth in my heart helped me achieve something I really wanted to, get. And so I don't know. I think it's a very beautiful mix of things. It is unfortunate that I missed a lot of years to go to Miss Louisiana, but I think the way that I'm going to Miss Louisiana is very perfect for me.
Mhm. Right. It was the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yes.
that's the perfect, yeah, explanation of my experience.
Yeah. Love it. All right. So, what are you most looking forward to? This is your first time to Miss Louisiana.
I
What are
don't
you?
even know what to all expect. That's what's so exciting because everything's going to be a first for me. I know that y'all get fed pretty nicely, and I love carbs, but I think just being on that stage for the first time and looking out, it's gonna be just breathtaking for me. I keep telling people, they're like, what are you hoping to do? Honestly, at the end of the day, I feel so humbled and grateful to even have the experience at all. That being on that stage, it's more to me than just competing. It's a
Mhm.
lot of build up from my story and the things that I've been through to finally get here, that if I made last place, which I hope is not the case, but I would still walk away from the experience feeling like I'm on top of the world, because
Right.
this has been just a long journey to finally get here, and I'm just excited to be a part of it all. When I got my local title, I didn't even it didn't hit me until my sister came up and hugged me, and she told me in my ear,
You're
she's like,
going to Miss
"You're
Louisiana.
going to Miss Louisiana," and I just bawled because I had talked about this for so long, and that was the first time I had heard that. There's pictures to prove it on my Instagram. It was
Aw.
ugly cry. I was like the
Oh, I
Kim
love
K
that.
cry.
So special. Yes, Kim K.
It was
Oh
great.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so special. Especially, having that moment with your sister. I love it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I just boldly, and then we ate pizza. It was a great
Oh,
ending.
then carbs then. And tears. Happy tears. What
Absolutely,
more could you want?
exactly.
All right. So I've been asking every single person, what is one thing that you learned from COVID and quarantine? And then what is one thing you're looking forward to once we go back to normal,
Yeah,
whatever normal is?
right. Whatever normal will become. Well, one thing I'm learning is to be able to be flexible and adaptable. to the situation, no matter what it is. I know that a lot of us are experiencing things we have never done before, and we're also losing things that we wish we could have, experienced. And so it's really teaching us all to go with the flow a little bit more and to appreciate what we do have. But one thing I'm really looking forward to, other than the pageant, of course, is probably just like seeing people in general, like being able to feel like I can hug someone. There's so many times where I go to meet someone to go shake their hand, and then I pull back and I feel like we're missing part of this connection as human beings, that we can't touch each other. But like, I haven't seen my grandma in so long, and I just like, hug her, I just like grab her, and I don't know, I'm a touchy person. It's my Italian.
Yeah.
I just love to love on people. But yeah, that would be nice. I really miss that. It's the simple little things,
Simple joys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. I am so ready for, so actually, some movie theaters are open, but they're showing old movies. So I actually went to the movie theater last night and watched Hocus Pocus, and it was so fun. Oh my gosh, I was just like, wow, what is COVID? I'm just kidding. Of course, it's like wearing my mask, eating my popcorn in between. But I'm ready for like new movies, like new movie premieres, because nobody is making
everything
movies
had to
now.
halt. I can't even imagine. I used to do background extra work, and they would send me like a new something every week of a movie or a TV show they were working on, and I haven't gotten anything since COVID happened.
And then same exactly what you were saying. I can't wait to hug people and to not question, like, is it okay if I hug you? Or, because
you do that thing where you're like, are you okay?
Like, okay.
Yeah, and then I never know, and I just know that I'd rather be safer than sorry, because like you never know if somebody has a really close relative that's older, that is predisposed to become sicker than the general population. So you just want to be careful. But I've had friends that like don't even ask me and that pull me in, and I'm like, wait, like I don't know if this is okay. So I'm also really excited to be able to do more with my title, because we haven't been able to really do anything with the community with everything that's going on too. I had planned on going and visiting the kids at Children's Hospital in our area, and we haven't been able to do that. So I mean, there's a lot of opportunities that we missed out on, but that's why I'm so thankful. I know it was such a unfortunate circumstance that we couldn't have Miss Louisiana in June, but it gave us more time to be able to experience more titles.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, last question. So it's similar to what I asked you earlier about what advice would you give your former self or a young woman or young man that wants to get into music. But what advice would you give a young woman that wants to compete in Miss Louisiana's Outstanding Teen and Miss Louisiana or in any kind of pageant scene or competition? What advice would you give? Maybe it was former younger Jessica or a friend that is thinking about competing.
Well, first, if it's insecurity or nervousness that's keeping you from doing it, I just want to tell people, like I would tell my younger self, stop letting what other people think of you keep you from experiencing the things that you want to experience and that you deserve to experience. But also, don't hold yourself from opportunities that your 60-year-old self would regret. I like to live as though I'm looking back on my life and wonder what it is that I wish I would have done, and I try to change the way that I live now according to that, like, perspective.
I love that.
And so, if it's just because you don't have this stuff, don't worry about the stuff. Like, and if you're coming in just to win, maybe consider, how you want to go into it before you do step in, because this isn't just a competition. This is way more than that. And you should come in for the right reasons. And when you do come in, just be like 100% and like unapologetically yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you win a title being someone that's not you, you're not going to be happy because you have to fake a different version of you for an entire year. Just be who you are. Take as much as you can from the experience while you're in it. Even if you don't win a title at the end of the day, meet those friends and take these lessons and learn how to speak in front of people. take the experience, make it what it could be, instead of forcing yourself to feel like you have to be the winner at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that you're going to be happy if you go in with these expectations, you're going to leave it happy no matter what the outcome is. But if you go into something saying this is the only way that I want it to end, you're going to be disappointed a lot of the time. Maybe not, but you don't want to go into a situation and set yourself up for disappointment when you can just leave the situation so happy and fulfilled and content with how it went. So that's rhyming.
Awesome.
See, that's a poem and a potential
Yes.
song.
Yeah. Okay, well, if you forget about it, it's going to be on IGTV, and you can go back and listen to it again, because I know sometimes I'm like, oh, that was so good, and then I forget about it an hour later.
I like
But we got it on
in my
video.
notes app
So
on my phone. So
yeah. Yeah, that's so good. And when you said something about, like, if you're worried about what other people think, then that shouldn't be your motivation. I actually have something written on my mirror that says, no one else's opinion of you has to become your reality.
exactly.
And it's like, oh my gosh, that's so true. Like, I literally read that every day, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. I have to remind myself of that, because you can literally be controlled by that thought of, like, what are other people going to think about me, especially when you're on stage, and especially when this competition involves judges. But it's like, if you stay true to yourself, then that is the only thing that should matter. I mean, you should feel good about that when you lay your head on your pillow at night.
Exactly. And honestly, I always tell people, you could be the perfect competitor. You could be the perfect contestant. You could be perfect for the job. But at the end of the day, judges come in looking for something very specific to them. And if a different set of judges were sitting in those seats, it would be a completely different outcome. You can't control what certain people are looking for. You can only control yourself and what, you present to the community and to the people in front of you. So at the end of the day, don't worry about winning, because that's not what it's about. And it doesn't, just because you don't win, that doesn't say that you're not a good contestant. It doesn't say that you're not beautiful. It doesn't say that you're not smart or talented. It just says that wasn't your time in that moment, and that's okay. And I know that people leave the organization always being like a runner-up or never making top 10 or whatever that may be, but I'm a religious person, so I think that everything happens for a reason, and I think God does things in our lives for a reason. And maybe it just wasn't for you, and that's okay. And we all win in different ways, and there's a place for us to all win in life. So that's it. That's so pretty much it. But just do things because it's fun, not necessarily to be the best of the best,
Right. Yeah, so true. Jessica, this was so good. Oh my gosh. I enjoyed catching up with you.
So long.
I know. It really has. I know. Well, thank you so much for giving me some of your time, and hopefully our listeners are so encouraged, because I'm encouraged. I'm walking away from this conversation encouraged, and just thank you for your spirit and your smile, and just for being here today. And I'm so excited for what's to come with your job, and I can't wait to hear your song at Miss Louisiana next year.
Well, thank you for giving this opportunity to us. I know it's not the most convenient thing probably to do because you're so busy, but you still make time for the little guys. So it's really,
my gosh,
it's really sweet that it gives us yet another platform to talk about what's important to us. So thank you.
Well,
appreciate it.
Yeah, and a while ago I was just thinking, like, literally when I stepped into this position and being Miss Louisiana, it was like crazy, 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 crazy. But I remember asking myself, am I ready for this? Like, am I ready for this? Like, literally the week before I was going to be crowned, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. And I was like terrified, because I remember somebody asked me, are you afraid? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I embraced it, I was scared, but I also just was like, okay, you're just going to go with it. You're going to move forward, and you're going to take every single day, and you're going to, like, okay, you have a speaking appearance in front of all these people. Like, how are you going to, prepare and be ready and be okay with that? And it's like, I don't think I'm ready, but it's like, you just do it, And so really,
part do not coexist. So.
Right, exactly. And so, and especially like vulnerability, you have to be vulnerable, you have to have the courage to be
Yeah.
vulnerable. And so literally that's all this year has been about for me. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And like, I think that anybody that's competing at Miss Louisiana, I mean, you've already made it to Miss Louisiana. And like, if, as long as you believe in yourself and as long as you know that you're scared and, but you do it anyways, like,
That's
I think that you are going to go places, whether that's being Miss Louisiana or you be Miss America or whatever,
yeah.
or you are CEO of a behavioral health
Hey.
unit. You
Oh.
know, I mean, be scared and do it anyways.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Being scared but doing it anyways. I like it. I'm gonna keep it in my file cabinet.
Yes, I know. I love all the quotes.
Yeah, no, this is very motivational interview.
Yes. Oh, good. Good. I'm so happy. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Everyone that's still tuning in, this is Jessica Thon, Miss Dixie's Talk Show, and she will be competing at Miss Louisiana. Please be on the lookout for her. And I linked her things in the comment box, but this will also be posted in IGTV.
Cross your fingers for me, please. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, have a good day, Jessica. So
Thank
good to
you.
see you.
Have a good one. Be safe. Take care of yourself.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.